Not throwing away any advantages and just winning, man, just winning. Now, it is, of course, time for Champ Select. Let's jump on into the action. Looks like we're getting Kasante straight out of there. No Wukong as well. Team Thailand getting rid of a jungle ban, so maybe they don't want Arashi getting his mitts on that one.
Didn't Pillow say that he was the jungler for Team Thailand?
That is what I thought I heard.
Because I'm seeing Pillow in the bot lane role right there, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when we do get in the game. That might get changed up. Anyway, we've got Kasante, Yuumi, Annie.
I think it's backwards.
Just reckon it's backwards?
Maybe.
A feeling?
Maybe it's not. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Maybe everyone's being caught off guard. But we shall see very shortly, depending on what happens towards the end of Champ Select. No Yuumi, so potentially no Zeri coming through. Annie going to be taken out for Team Thailand. And we're not going to see any Pop Blossoms because Nico has been deleted.
Yeah, all very standard bans coming out so far. Nothing here really looks targeted. It doesn't seem like the teams have either got a lot of information on one another, or any information that they necessarily want to act upon, and they're a little bit more scared of just the regular standard stuff.
Yeah,
you know, very, very high pick ban rate champions getting taken out of the picture, and it'll be the first time we get to see Milio.
Yeah, first time we get to see Milio this tournament, and I'm keen to see exactly what Team Malaysia can do with it. I've heard very good things, but I have not seen it too much. Oh my, we've got the Kha'Zix lock in. I'm in love.
You're in love? You're a big Kha'Zix
if that's
man.
Going to Pillow. Pillow's my new favourite player. Let's go.
There you go.
I do love this Kha'Zix meta we're in at the moment. Keen to see how it works up against Team Malaysia. Of course, we got the Blitzcrank as well, so we're going to be having a little bit of fun in the Rift today.
Yeah, I think Blitzcrank obviously going to be a great answer for Milio, who does tend to, not want to be in super close range. He's a range support. He's able to sort of play the poke game. He's an enchanter, and a good response for that is always trying to get up in the face, or not necessarily that, but bring them to you, as is normally the case with the Blitzcrank. So, yeah. Good sort of counter pick. I don't think you'd obviously normally see the Blitzcrank picked as the first choice when it comes to the support, but when you know already what's been taken away by your opponent, then Blitzcrank's going to be not a bad choice. Misfortune coming through as well. Obviously a very powerful bot lane here with the Blitzcrank Misfortune combo. There's a lot of damage, a lot of burst coming through there. Whereas I think on the other side for Team Malaysia, you're kind of just looking at scaling into the mid game, into the late game. Aphelios Milio, that is going to be a win condition later on in the game, if they can get through the lane.
With that hyper carry, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously the jungle, the way that's going to operate is completely different on both sides. You're going to have probably a lot of early ganks coming through with the Kha'Zix as well for Team Thailand. And look, if you get a decent Blitzcrank cook off, you've got the Kha'Zix not too far away, you can just leap across and get so much burst damage out real quick. So a lot of pick potential, but we'll see how Team Thailand are going to play around that. Of course, back to the bans. We've lost the Trist, we've lost the Malphite, and no Ahri going to be coming in. Nah as well. So getting rid of a couple of the top lane heavies. Now, what are we going to see locked in for Team Thailand here? Pillow going to be picking up the Gragas. So that's probably going to be a little bit of a flex handshake up towards the top lane. It could be flexed.
Yeah, I think we just wait and see what we're going to get from Team Malaysia first, and then we'll start to make a little bit more of an informed opinion. Azir, and you're starting to see the composition kind of come together for Team Malaysia, aren't you? This is very much a team fight focused, late game kind of oriented. I don't know about the trend. Maybe that doesn't necessarily fit into the picture quite so much. I was liking it. I was really liking it. I was thinking, we'll just get this tank top lane. Maybe we'll get a Scion, something like that. But then the Tryndamere gets thrown in there. I still don't necessarily mind the idea from Malaysia. It does look like, across the board outside of the top lane, they sort of have a pretty cohesive unit put together there.
Yeah.
Maybe for Shine, this is going to be a pocket pick, a comfort pick. It's something that he thinks he can maybe play into the Gragas pretty comfortably.
Let's just touch on the LeBlanc coming through as well. That is so much burst damage in the hands of Team Thailand. They are looking for picks. They are looking to gank. They're looking just to hit those hooks and play off the back of them. So interesting. Lots of mobility there as well. Like a huge amount of mobility actually for Team Thailand. So we'll see how this composition plays out up against something a bit more meta. I say a bit because for Team Malaysia, of course, you've got that Tryndamere. So we might see some kind of split push as a fallback plan. But they've generally got a pretty good team fight on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was looking towards it and I was saying, they're just going to put together a very standard front-to-back team comp, and we're going to see something pretty solid from them there. But they do throw the Tryndamere in the mix, and that's sort of a bit of a spanner in the works. And, once again, just looking at the selections here. I don't think we're going to be seeing a blitz top. I don't think we're going to be seeing a misfortune jungle. The graphic is just the wrong way around. That's all. Don't worry about it too much, guys. But hey, I tell you what, a Gragas Classic spot lane could be pretty fun. I don't know.
That would be funny.
Don't know how it will go into the Aphelios Melio setup there. I think obviously you want to be getting your early kills in, but
early rotation.
Let's not even entertain that until we actually load into the game and we see that locked in. But yeah, fairly sure this is going to be the standard stuff. MF blitz down in the box.
Wouldn't it be nice? Now, it is interesting. So obviously we don't have a lot of backstory on these individuals, these players as individuals. So you never know. Team Malaysia, we've got Shine there. He could be some kind of one trick. He could lean towards going for that trend and be a very good trend player. We never know.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit interesting to sort of see the mentality and the drive from both of these teams. It just did, at least the Malaysia team composition, Team Malaysia team composition did give you a little bit more of a standard kind of tried and true idea. Whereas if I look at what Team Thailand have drafted, to me that kind of screams like I could be literally in a ranked game right here. Everyone's going to just play to win their lane. You've got a LeBlanc, you've got a Kha'Zix, they want to snowball. Blitzcrank Misfortune really wants to snowball as well.
Yep.
So I look at these team compositions and I look at the setup for Team Thailand, and I have to say I think, if they don't manage to get ahead in the early game, then Team Malaysia might just outscale them and win the game with a little bit of a better sort of overall cohesive team comp.
Well, looks like it's just going to be a handshake at the start. Of course, that ward's going to be spotted out over towards the blue buff. And things all slow down. Blue ward just going to be put on the bot side try. Just looking to keep that bot lane as safe as possible from an invade early on. No one actually protecting the jungle, but they have, I believe, spotted that Maokai, who's going to be starting Wolves and pathing down towards the bot. And that seems to be the meta. That seems to be the case for both sides. You've got Pillow starting on red buff, and it's going to be pathing bot as well.
Yeah, one of the things I'm a little bit concerned about for Team Thailand is particularly later on in the game, I'm not sure that they're really going to have an answer for the Tryndamere. Oh, there's a good hook.
Okay. Starting things off. A little bit of harass there onto the Aphelios, but he will survive safely. Of course, he does have Melio there, so we'll see if there is going to be a chance to heal him on up.
You're already seeing that top lane get a little bit antsy for the Gragas player. It Yummy from Team Thailand. Happened to chug through a couple of the pots, but I mean, obviously, Gragas is a champion that does have a lot of natural sustain, so should be able to do okay early on in the game. Exchanges in the mid lane as well.
And there's that burst as well. So for Azir here, do you think the game plan is just try to make it to level 6 and then, try to scale into that late game before you get destroyed by the LeBlanc?
100%. I think actually just across the board for Team Malaysia, it's basically a ticking time bomb.
Oh.
Now, you got to remember, Shine actually has the Ignite here in the top lane as well, so he is just playing to win this lane. There is no TP. There is no idea of playing with the team.
And there's no biscuits left. Yummy eating everything he's got, including those pots, just to try to stay in lane for as long as possible. But you can see as well, Arashi now going to start to rotate up towards the top to try and help him out here.
They want to dive.
Try to get this first blood at just 3 minutes in. It looks like they're going for it. Here it is. Aggro going to be taken. Is the TP coming in time? It might be. Flashed for the Ignite. He's alive.
He's ghosted.
Shine. Can he be able to get it? Oh, he will, just barely. And that's going to be that first blood coming through. But can Shine live? That's the question. The Ghost has created just enough space. Well played from Team Malaysia.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was a little bit concerned about that one, to be quite honest. I thought actually maybe it was a better world where the Tryndamere takes the early aggro. He can cop 1 or 2 shots and then he can spin his way out. But, you do kind of want to get that kill onto the top laner in the end. Arashi decides to tank the tower aggro first, which I thought was a little bit concerning because when you W in as the Maokai, you don't have any escape tools. You don't have a way to get out apart from flashing. And even that sometimes when you're deep under the tower isn't going to provide too much space, particularly if you've gotten CC'd up by that Gragas. But they make it work. Great stuff individually from Team Malaysia. The Ignite obviously coming into play as well.
Also, in the meantime, we've got Pillow. He's gone and placed this deep ward straight on the Krugs. So, Arashi, he is going to be tracked, making his way back towards this bot side. So, Team Thailand probably not going to get too aggressive, not going to have too much fun here at bot for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, too little too late, really, as far as the information, though, is concerned, right? He's already managed to have an impact on the map up in that top lane. Kid Yummy's gone on a bit of an adventure to get a ward on the top side of the map for Team Thailand. But as I said, I'm really concerned about this Tryndamere. If the Tryndamere starts to scale into this game, there isn't really an answer. Gragas doesn't deal with the Tryndamere very well later on in the game. There's just not going to be enough damage, and even when you're playing as the Gragas, right, you want to try to take out the Tryndamere. It's a bit of a war of attrition, and the Tryndamere is always going to win in that engagement just because he's got the ultimate and can go down to 1 HP, chase you down, finish you off. So it's going to be a little bit difficult later on. See if Team Thailand can find a way to win the game elsewhere. But as I said, if they're not getting ahead early with this kind of a composition, you've got a couple of assassins, you know, you've got an early game bot lane that's going to get outscaled, you're going to start to struggle a little bit here if you're Team Thailand.
Yeah, well, Nuanir doing a great job in mid, of course, just keeping Sleep tucked under the tower. Good lane prio, but that is, of course, going to be balanced out by all this prio up towards the top side on the Rashi. He is hungry for another. Yummy. He is quite low on mana, quite low on those resources, but it's all about how much damage Shine can get done here. And it looks like Arashi's going to hang around, steal that Krug camp. But even meanwhile, over towards that bot side, we are going to see this turnaround. Oh, Felly is already dead. And Quaspiel going to be leaving the rift with him as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to be seeing down in that bot lane. You need to be getting some advantages when you've got this kind of a composition. And it looks like Team Malaysia, their bot lane just walking into one too many Blitzcrank hooks. Fairly was finished off without using the flash. Now we'll see the exchange up in top.
How's it going to go? Yummy. He's doing as much as he can to get that tower aggro. The Undying Rage, it's there. But at the same time, he'll live for just long enough to get out of that final turret shot, and a well-executed dive yet again.
Yeah, all good in the hood, and we'll take a look back down to the bot lane.
So this is what happened.
I mean, this is, I assume, just off the back of a hook, but it's actually Team Malaysia trying to get aggressive. I don't mind the idea, right? They've got the massive creep wave, but it just seems like their target selection isn't quite on point there, plus the addition of the jungler down into the 2-on-1 obviously makes it a bit of a problem for Caspiel. I could see what they were trying to go for, but they just didn't have the damage, unfortunately.
It looked like as well, Felia was, trying to split that focus, trying to get that dot onto as many of those opponents as possible. So the bot lane of Team Thailand was certainly burning, but you can see they both went down to half HP.
Well,
they didn't just focus one. It looks like they're going to go for some focus yet again. Quaspiel, he is gone. Felia, run for your life. Oh, not a lot of movement speed, but Arashi will come to try and save him there.
Yeah.
But again, a nice gank coming through Team Thailand, the mid laner just rotating in, and it seems like that wasn't spotted.
Yeah, I mean, I do wonder how much they're kind of giving up in that mid lane. We've already seen one turret plate does go over to the Azir. So Sleep is kind of having a free farm game at the moment on the Azir, which is always a nice place to be. It's just going to be a question of whether or not Team Thailand are going to be able to get more done down in the bot lane than what they're kind of giving up in mid and in top as well. Top is kind of a lost cause at this point. There's not really going to be a world where Yummy is going to win this lane or be comfortable even in this lane really against the Tryndamere. At a certain point, that's just going to get outscaled. So you have to find your advantages elsewhere, and I'm glad to see them getting some work done down in bot.
Oh, hello. There we go. It's going to be a good CC coming through. Sleep trying to hit the right individual, but he won't. He's dealt with the decoy, and Nuanir will get out safely. Also, Emperor's Divide going to be invested, so that's down for a while now.
Yeah, again, though, I think that's fine. It's just going to force the LeBlanc back to base, and Arashi and Sleep can start to get a bit of control over toward the Rift Herald, which will be spawning shortly.
So Arashi still only level 5, should hopefully pop to level 6 real shortly. There it is with the Scuttle. So now, of course, we have that ult online as well, and Arashi is just that much more dangerous.
Yeah, and obviously, again, we're talking about that impact in mid. You force the mid laner to go base. You don't have priority up in the top lane, so you're going to go ahead and take that Rift Herald. But in response, I mean, Team Malaysia, they need to be a little bit more aware of what's going on around the map, because they're stuck again in bot, and they are cooked.
Showstopper just dishing out so much damage, and again, it looks like this is where Pillow's sleeping, straight towards bot lane, and it's working. But the answer is, of course, there's going to be the Herald taken by Team Malaysia. So there's wins and losses on both sides right now.
I think the losses are actually compounding a little bit more for Team Malaysia, right? You're seeing wins go up into the top lane, into the jungle, but when we're talking about where the carries come from in this current meta, generally speaking, that's going to come from down bot when you have the ADC getting fed. And even here, it's not really a favorable exchange. Sure, you've managed to get the Rift Herald, but you're giving up Dragon, you're giving up a couple of kills down in the bot lane. And it's going to be a question of how much value you can get out of that Rift Herald. I think best case scenario, you're going to see a kill up in the top lane under the tower. Rift Herald drop there, and maybe you can get another couple of tower plates.
And they've got this full read on exactly where Arashi is too. You can see the aggression coming through from Pillow. So deciding to invade that bot side, and meanwhile, it's an easy pick as well. Over towards mid.
1-for-1. And might end up being a 1-for-2 right here. But Noi will be able to get out of there okay, just by the skin of their teeth. Rift Herald was invested up into the top lane, charged into the tower, put it down to a very slim margin, but still not finished off just yet. So you would have, yeah, again, maybe liked to have seen a dive up there and finish off this Gragas. Get a little bit more value out of that Rift Herald, but maybe the opportunity just not quite presenting itself. Can't see the items that Gragas has got at the moment, so not sure exactly what the build is looking like there.
Sleep greeted a little too much. No, nice escape there, and will be able to make his way to safety, get that extra plate, and try to get this reset off as well. Now the wave is looking good. It is a cannon wave, so it looks like he is going to try to hang around, try to farm that one under the turret before he goes for the reset, and back down bot we go. Looks like, again, they're getting ready for this one. Showstoppers online, instantly used on cooldown. Caspiel not going to be able to do a damn thing, and this might just be this bot tower lost.
Yeah, this is actually starting to get really problematic. It was looking good at the start of the game, right? You saw Team Malaysia just chilling, farming up a little bit, going 1-for-1 in terms of the farm, but as soon as the jungler has arrived down in bot, this bot lane for Team Malaysia has really started to let the ball drop a little bit. 4 deaths apiece. You go basically 0 and 8 in the lane. It is not good enough on a stage of this caliber, and even though the damage is happening in the top lane, you know, you're getting that top tower first. I don't know if it's going to be enough for Team Malaysia, especially when you're seeing a solo kill in mid as well. The Azir goes down. It's just all sides of the map losing, apart from the top lane.
Just damage everywhere. Felia trying to deny them any more plates, and they're still up for a couple of minutes, so there's been a lot of action in this early game. Maybe not what we expected. Yes, we expected the chaos.
Yeah, look, I'm still not, you know, it's sort of weird to say. Like, I'm a little bit concerned, obviously, for Team Malaysia, but I don't know if it's maybe like the personal bias showing through and a bit of hopium here, Mac, but I do feel like their composition is going to scale better into this late game, and they're going to have real troubles dealing with this Tryndamere. So even though they're quite far behind, the very fact that they do have that Tryndamere still in tow, if you can get value out of it, is going to be a real thorn in the side for Team Thailand. It's going to make it very difficult to win this game still.
At a 1.5k gold gap right now. Pillow gets that Mythic online as well as the bot lane. So a couple of Ghost Blades picked up. And
got the right one.
Leandries. Oh, looks like they're going to go in, try to fight this one. Arashi hoping that he can get here in time, but he won't have the Nature's Grasp. He used that earlier over towards top lane, so still just trying to get this root. Will be able to knock it back in time. Can It Yummy get away to safety? The sapling, can it get the dot that it's looking for? Shine, I think he's got that ult to use. Looks like he should be fine, but he won't get the kill in response. Blast Cone should be used to safety.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, you've got Emilio solo holding mid, which is not going to be super easy. Pillow is looking for an angle, but decides in the end to just ult out of there. He sees Caspiel walking up the lane as well. And I think this is good for Team Malaysia, right? You just want to set up your bot laners in the mid lane. It's the safest lane to be in. Set them up there. Have them just try to play a bit more chill. I'm not sure why they're trying to take the fight.
They're doing it! Caspiel just going to go a little bit too far forward. Thought he was safe, but Felia, that healing is just not coming through as intended. Over towards bot lane, yet another skirmish. Yummy finally going to fall here. And Shine, he's living for the moment. Can he stay alive? He's got that tower to protect him, and it looks like he's going to dance around. Will fall eventually. Well played, but he is going to take a sleep down in response.
Look at the rotation coming through from the mid lane. Kha'Zix on his way down. If that Blitz Hook would have connected, it would have meant a dead Maokai. And potentially even a Tryndamere as well. Even still, we have to keep an eye on things because Pillow is lurking around in the jungle and has found Felia.
Oh, how's this burst though? Is it going to be enough? Felia trying to dot him away. Oh, Caspiel going to be able to get that ult across and clean up shop for one more, as well as get that bounty.
I'm not sure that one for one is necessarily worth it there for the Kha'Zix. Pillow obviously does manage to get that kill onto Felia, but Caspiel getting the shutdown is really good. Gets you back in the game in a sense. He's really hurting for cash at the moment, so being able to get the kill onto the Kha'Zix is, in that 1-for-1, actually worth it for Team Malaysia.
Yeah, there's that 30 CS diff down bot, so he's looking to try to clean that one up. And look, he hasn't been bot for a while. It feels like everyone's just constantly swapping these lanes up. Yummy living at bot, and we also have, of course, the next Drake spawning in about 10 seconds. No one with too much control on the bot side. Team Thailand, yeah, they got that vision in that bot jungle of Team Malaysia. So it looks like they're just going to, again, just pillage the jungle, leave nothing for Team Malaysia to take before, of course, attempting the objective. And it looks like Team Malaysia might not be able to contest here at all.
I think that's fair enough, right? They've put their resources into the top lane, seeing if Shine can get any sort of a split push going. For me right now, if I'm Team Malaysia, all I'm sort of saying is, okay, Caspiel, Felia, You need to just chill. You need to stop taking these sort of aggressive kind of fights. Just relax and try to farm up a little bit so we can scale into the late game and let the big three of Shine, Arashi, and Sleep try to carry this game.
He's gone with the Nature's Grasp here, and it's going to be enough to finally take down Pillow again, who is getting a bit big for his boots, and there's going to be no trade from Team Thailand.
Yeah, this is a super messy game, Mac. I mean, I think there's no other way of putting it. All right, well, Emilio does get hooked, but is out of there okay for now. Ignite was invested, but not going to take enough shields and heals. Good coming through from Emilio there, and so... I don't know, I just still get that sense that Team Malaysia is going to actually get the better of this once they do start to scale in the game. They're also even now starting to find some kills onto that of Felios. Azir, Tryndamere obviously already looking pretty strong and solid.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is a Tryndamere that could potentially 1v9 the game.
There it is again. Another little burst. Philly can't live for too long. I think what I'm getting from Team Thailand here is they've let Milio through, expecting Team Malaysia to take it, right? Which is why you're seeing no real heavy CC coming through in their team comp, because of course Milio has that cleanse, has that crazy ult to just drop down from above. So this pick comp that Team Thailand have gone for with the draft is actually being executed really well right now.
Yeah, it's a good point, and I think even the CC that you do get from Team Thailand is not the cleansable CC, right? You've got the knockback from Gragas, you've got the knock-up from Blitz and from Gragas, and so those are, and of course the hook as well, and those are all going to be really important tools for Team Thailand later on in the piece that, you know, the Emilio ult's not really going to do too much about. I guess you can make the argument that, yeah, he can maybe cleanse like the LeBlanc chain or something like that, but I think at this point when you've got a 5-2 LeBlanc, maybe you don't get the chance to cleanse the LeBlanc chain, you just die. So
there's like a couple of slows too, you know, depending on which route Pillow decides to evolve those abilities. But other than that, yeah, not too much that you can cleanse. So his ult's not entirely worthless, you know, it still has some other pros to it. But for the most part, yeah, Team Malaysia, they still are up in gold, and if they do get to scale in the next, 10 minutes or so, that's when things get even more difficult for Team Thailand.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, and they obviously have to find a way to deal with this Tryndamere, who's just going all over the map and doing whatever he wants. Sleep can actually match Yummy on the Gragas pretty comfortably. You've got that range advantage, you can clear the waves pretty comfortably, but there isn't really anyone that can match the Tryndamere. I mean, the LeBlanc can go down there and try to thin the wave a little bit, but the reality is you'd be preferring to get your job done elsewhere. And I'm not sure what's happened here for Pillow. Just he's gone from 4-0 to 4-2, and he's starting to get caught off guard in a couple too many situations. The big problem with that map, of course, is you're losing in the team fights and you're also losing in the side lane. So you're pretty much losing across the board. Yummy now under pressure from Itshine, forcing the explosive cask out there, and well, to not too much use. He's down to half HP. The dive is potentially on there for Shine. Has Ignite, has ulti.
Yeah, Yummy getting rid of the Herald just in time, so it didn't get that extra charge off. So a small victory for Team Thailand, but again, that gold lead, I'm looking at it and it's slowly but surely creeping up for Team Malaysia. Baron spawning in 2.5 minutes. Objective's still down for a little while, but it looks like with that root, oh, they're going to be able to pick off Arashi. Surely here, he won't get away from that one. The Ignite on him, is he going to live? It looks like he might. There's no way. There is no way he's able to do that one. Shine going to be going forward. And of course, just Undying Rage. He's living for so long. Showstopper going to be used, but is that too late? Velia damn low. And then there's another turret take in the mid T1. Shine just picking off everyone as best as he can.
Yeah, and the problem as well is that he's got some lifesteal in that build, so you're going to come straight back at full HP, right? If you don't finish him off the Tryndamere, you give him 10 or 20 or 30 seconds to go back over to the jungle, farm up a couple of those creeps. He's right back to full HP and he's ready to go and start chunking down some towers. So, like I said, there's not a whole lot of answers on the side there for Team Thailand. Obviously, they haven't played it perfectly from the macro sense. They had the early advantages. They certainly had the ability to close this game out, but they've kind of just given up a little bit too much in the mid game by giving those picks back over to Team Malaysia and kind of going back down to that scrappy level that we may have anticipated, I guess, from their team composition, but certainly hoped not to see after they got that early advantage. And yeah, they've certainly given up a bit too much, and Team Malaysia are right back in the game off the back of Shine, off the back of a pretty solid game coming through here from Arashi as well. Hasn't really done anything wrong necessarily.
I can't believe that Arashi survived there. There was no world. I saw no world where he was living, but he managed just to live. I think it was on 5 HP in the end. I was too focused on that and missed what happened to Pillow. He got bursted down even though he was supposed to be doing the bursting.
Well, I can tell you what, Shine, I think did get a helping hand actually from Felia. The Milio ulti you'll see come through right at the back end just as Shine looks like he's about to get stunned up by that chain. Cleanse comes through, so that was the one little key usage that we sort of identified and said, you know, maybe there's a little bit of an angle there for Felia to get some value out of that ulti, and came through in that last fight. But here's another one.
That Nature's Graft's going to really divide up Team Thailand. We're going to see it hit a couple in the end, and it looks like they're going to go all in. Team Malaysia just trying to smash that damage. Emperor's Divide actually allows Pillow to survive and go back to the team. In the meanwhile, Arashi putting a foot wrong, and as soon as that bot lane got deleted, it felt like there just was not enough damage coming through from Team Malaysia.
Yeah, that's not exactly how they want to see that fight going. Fantastic hook from Jingliu with the Blitzcrank, just gets it straight onto Caspiel, and when your AD carry gets picked like that, there's not really a whole lot you can do to save them. Felia also very, very squishy, easy to get kills on for the LeBlanc, for the Kha'Zix. And, you know, at that point, obviously, you're down a couple of members. Arashi gets turned on. He isn't quite tanky enough. Hasn't really gone full tank build.
Yeah.
Has put a bit of AP in there in that build path. So
also, him being dead, he like just spawned, and we got Baron down below half HP. So there should be free Pillow.
okay.
He is not...
He's going to steal it.
Smite. He doesn't have a smite. Red team has slain it just barely. I thought that maybe Shine was going to be able to make that one happen. But is he going to be able to work this around? They're trying to get that back off, but it looks like they have to fight. Caspiel going to be able to turn up, and there is so much damage here. The numbers favouring Team Malaysia. So they will answer by deleting every single buff on Team Thailand.
Yeah, you talk about Baron buff power play, something like that, then that probably lasted about 10 seconds for Team Thailand, that Baron buff. And actually, they put themselves into an even worse position here because the lanes are already pushing in bot, in mid, in top. And we'll take a look back at this Baron fight. It didn't really amount to too much. They just gave a little bit too much room to shine, and he was able to pick off a couple of members individually. Did see them send the LeBlanc over earlier to try to deal with him, but I mean, what's the LeBlanc going to do against the Tryndamere that's, I don't even know what he's at this point, 7-0 and 4, and you know, he's basically one-shotting everything. It's just disgusting. He's got the Gale Force as well, Max, so it's not even as if
movement
you're going to be able to get away from him, right? He is literally the stat check champion. He is super fed. And I've said time and time again, no one can deal with him, and that has never been more true than it is now as we start to get into, you know, the mid-game, the late game even at this point, considering the items that are being picked up for Team Malaysia.
Crazy with how much sustain he has as well. And we're still seeing no Grievous picked up by Team Thailand, of course. They're not too worried about him healing, but they aren't able to kill him in time. They aren't able to kill him at all. So it's certainly getting a little out of hand right now. And it's feeling like Team Malaysia is starting to run away with it as we get past that 20-minute mark. You know, the kills even up the top, but that gold certainly isn't. There's 5,000 or 5 and a bit still favouring Team Malaysia.
Arashi wants to get something done again. Shine's right there to help him out.
Not too bad of a timing on that one, and that bot lane is just getting torn to shreds.
Oh, the Gale Force.
Oh my lord, Pillow's gone, Yuna's gone, and that might just be that. Let's see what they can do. Lane is just going to be not quite pushed up over towards mid, so we'll see if they're going to be able to find a tier 3 or if the respawns come through in time. Looks like that's not what they're looking for. Again, just trying to get another pick off, try to stagger those respawns for Team Thailand, knowing that they've got the numbers.
Well, I mean, the issue for Team Malaysia is that they don't really have a great siege, so when Team Thailand have got members available, you know, the Misfortune, the Dragons, they can still clear the waves. Caspiel in trouble, but the shot does go towards Felia instead, and so Jingliu with that hook unable to connect. Just playing a very dangerous game. Really likes to be on the front foot. What I was saying is, yeah, I mean, I think you need to be finding those access to the turrets from also in the side lane, because you don't really have anyone right now that can comfortably hit the tower in a siege scenario. Especially against the Blitz.
Try and be very cautious there. I think he was trying to bait that hook out, but didn't want to get too dragged under the tower. Won't have a wave to play with, so won't be able to hit the turret, and it looks like we're going to have these waves synced up at bot, at mid, and maybe there's an opportunity to finally make the siege happen. But things slowing down. Team Thailand on the full defense. Of course, Yummy still matching, but it is just going to be an attempt at a fight. We are going to see the Nature's Graft used on cooldown again, and everyone's rooted up over here. Oh, the Emperor's Divide just knocked him straight back into Team Malaysia, and they're just going to dish the damage. A huge triple coming through for Caspiel. Let's see how much they can get off the back of that.
Oh, they're going to get a lot, Mac. I dare say they're going to get a lot. They're going to get the inhib, that's for sure. They might get even a little bit more than that. 25, 30 seconds on the death timers here for Team Thailand. Malaysia will have the opportunity to look towards the Dragon. They'll have the opportunity to sort of shove those waves in top potentially if they want to as well. But that is certainly not the way that you want to be fighting there as Team Thailand, right? All grouping up in a choke point like that. You're going to open the door up, as you've said, for the Emperor's Divide. All that pierce damage coming through from the Azir. You've got the AoE damage coming through from Caspiel as well. And Shine just can get in there and spin to win, basically, all the way through your team composition and do so much damage. So we'll take a look back at the replay here, and this is pretty much worst-case scenario. You see the ultimates all just connecting here across the board there for Team Malaysia, and a couple of players just kept blown up. So not good at all.
Too much CC to deal with, and able to get a little bit more off the back. But look, I'm starting to feel for Team Thailand here. I loved how they started the series, but as soon as it hit that 20-minute mark, that's when things are getting more and more out of hand. These team fights just never going their way now. And that Nature's Grasp, it's just too strong, it's just too fast. They can't get away from it.
I mean, that's the nature of the beast when you draft a composition like this. You do expect to get ahead a little bit in the early game, but you need to find a way to close it out, because ultimately when we get into the team fight stage, you're not going to have those consistent crowd control tools or the consistent range damage tools. You're looking for the insta-kills, the blow-ups, and in this case, right, when you are unable to do that, you're a Kha'Zix in the middle of a very solid-looking team comp from Team Malaysia or a LeBlanc. And it's, you know, obviously for LeBlanc, it's a little bit easier to get back out, but if you don't blow someone up, really, you're not doing your job with that champion. So
Pillow, he's having a look at Shine here. Looks like he is going to be able to try and set this gank up. Is Newany going to be able to rotate across? Looks like there's no vision on these positions, so Sleep could be staying a little bit too long here. How's his escape route? Doesn't look like it's going to happen. We'll see if he overstays. But Arashi, look, they've missed their opportunity. We are going to see Team Malaysia start to come across to protect the king. And Jungju's not going to be able to get that hook off, so looks like there's no chance of the pick. I'm still worried about Pillow. He's doing a great job lurking here. We'll be able to maybe catch this one off. Looks like they're going to go for it anyway, even though Arashi's not too far away. We'll see if Going Golden's going to be able to save it. Nature's Grasp going to be used to try to stop their escape. Pillow flashes away. They get the pick that they're looking for. But it's just one for what? And now is in the worst position. It's going to be a one-for-one trade in the end. Belia still living, and it looks like Team Malaysia are looking for more.
Yeah, but Mac, look what's happening in the base now. Yummy's going to go Golden to try to survive. Shine maybe not even interested in that. He knows the reset has come through. And once again, you know, it's Team Thailand. They're looking for those advantages, but even when they are able to find that pick, they can't do anything with it. They have to go back to base to save their Nexus turrets, which are, you know, down to about half HP at this point. So Shine is just running through the jungle, farming up everything. You're a jungler, Mac. You know how frustrating that can be.
No camps left. A couple of worries. And
this is
one
an
of these
interesting
worries
choice.
is going to be Newany fighting for this one. We do see the flank angle starting to come through. Team Thailand are just getting picked apart. And the jungler's gone, which makes it that much harder to try and deny the Baron. There you go. Team Malaysia should be all over this one. It looks like there's going to be that attempt at a back coming through from Newany. Will he be able to try and steal anything away here? He's trying to get one pick off, any pick off, but there's nada. And Arashi, he's going to do it all.
Yeah, surely this has to be the death sentence for Team Thailand now. Shine with the Baron buff has got the ultimate available. It's only Jing Liu, and I tell you what, Mac, as a support main, this is not the position that you want to be in. Trying to defend the base against a 10-0-4 Tryndamere, there is just absolutely nothing you can do, and Shine will have to take a bow after this game because that was won and lost through the top lane.